Or
No.
yeah, yeah. So you look good. You seem good.
Thank you. You may have, 10 years, man! 10! Where have you been for 10 years?
Okay, so it wasn't 10 years. It was 8 months. Sorry. Things got a little bit crazy. For those of you who have texted and asked or DM'd or left comments or anything like that, my dog is okay. Family is okay. Everything is okay. My ADHD and my dopamine kind of led me kind of away from most role-playing games for a little while. That happened, but the itch that is usually for kind of a forever itch returned. I've been thinking about what to do with Ironsworn and Starforged for a little while yet, and I've got a lot. I've got so much stuff. I want to get back to the Ravenloft thing, but maybe using Sundered Isles for that because there's a big trip going on. But I wanted to get back to Earl because we left right like here. And I told myself that I just decided to draw an arbitrary line in the sand and said, when this gorgeous piece of work showed up in my mailbox, that was when the game was going to start back up again. So 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, can I just say, Mr. Sean Tompkin, what a class act you are to have put Josh Meehan's name on there again as a spine byline. That is just justified, but certainly a thing that a lot of people could have gotten away with not doing, would have gotten away with not doing, would have been happy to get away with not doing, whatever. You didn't do it. You recognized what a huge contribution the art design and graphic design in this book are, and as we all have, and it nice job, classy work. So anyway, the book is here. My little reference ring bind or wire bound thing is here. And I decided to get back on here and start getting together our weekly content that we have all missed. I have missed, and based on some comments, I think everyone else has missed too. So here we are. We are going to do this thing. So we're back, session 32. I think I've been kind of referring this in my head as sort of like season 2, but I don't know if that really warrants that because there was such a weird. It wasn't really like a big cliffhanger or something like that I really left things on. So I don't know if it's really fair to say it's season 2. I don't know if it's cool enough for that, but in any case, the next big batch. Most of my online games that I've done, most of my campaigns in general, have kind of been somewhere in the low 30s in terms of number of sessions. Like, there's one exception to that, but I think I know why that is anyway. But like Masks TikTok game that I ran not that long ago was 30, I want to say 32, 33 sessions. The Masks game that I ran with my daughter and her friends was 31 sessions, although I think they want 32. 616 Mask game was 31 sessions or something like that. The first Mask game that I ran was 63 sessions, but really, functionally, what that really was 2 campaigns because we just didn't want to stop playing. But enough characters changed and arcs completed halfway through, and then new characters started back up that functionally that was really 2 different campaigns. It was 2 30-session campaigns glued back to back. And it's certainly not the only, I would say, games that work for me. Ravenloft was right around 30 sessions, and the first batch of Starforged here. So it kind of feels like that's where my brain needs to kind of take a break and do a different game. And I probably should have recognized that and sort of aimed for it. That would have been a better idea. I didn't realize that, and I ended up kind of, I don't want to say I burn out a little bit, but I just wasn't where the dopamine was coming from for a little while. That's no shame or shade on this particular book. It's certainly not the fault of the game. That is the fault of my brain and the attention deficit. Hey, donuts of ADHD. So when we last left our heroes, God, it feels pretty good to say that. When we last left our heroes, we were headed. You'll see here we got a little progress track here. Get from Dead Rock to Lagrange without passing through the Glimmerhope system. So let's refer to the map here a little bit so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. If you remember, we were over here at Dead Rock where we retrieved the second of the 2 wisps. We have wisps, wraiths, tempests, I guess. The wisps are the little baby guys, right? That are like K. And we need to get from Dead Rock here over to Lagrange here without passing through the most obvious place to go, which is the Glimmer Hope system. And also, as thanks to a danger that we got introduced last session, we've got the Tempest that we ran into between Meridian Station and Glimmer of Hope that was sort of chasing us. The big energy creature that's like K. That seems to be coming after us. And it's not angry, but it's agitated. So we got to worry about that. To reflect that, what I did was I came up with this progress track for getting there, which is just to undertake an expedition type of thing. But I also put a tension clock on it. This is not an extended contest, I think is what they call it. It's not meant to be that, but there is a tension clock here. So basically, if I fail and it's relevant, it's a relevant thing to pay this particular cost. I'll advance the countdown clock as the Tempest, gets closer. So that's kind of going on here. But that's not what happened the first time. The first move that we made away from Lagrange, we ended up at this this shattered, still like kind of shattered and active asteroid belt. It's not really an asteroid belt though. It doesn't read like an asteroid belt. Shattered planet? Who knows? And what we should do is turn and keep going, but what Earl decided to do is that he just wanted to take a look around a little bit first to see what there was to find out here, because he is actually going to explore the waypoint and see what there is to see, because he's that kind of guy. So let's take a look. It's been a while. You'll have to forgive me. It's been a while since I've looked at a lot of this stuff. So let's take a look at our assets, because I think I've got something for exploring waypoints. And let's take a look at whatever else we've got going on here. So scavenger, not relevant. We're not necessarily gathering information or resupplying by scavenging a wreck, ruin, or abandoned site. Maybe, probably not. Gearhead, not relevant. Fugitive. It's interesting. Fugitive must have been broken, so I think I rebuilt this one. And then explore. When you explore a waypoint, take +1 momentum on a hit, and when you finish an expedition and score a hit, mark 1 extra tick on your Discovery's legacy track. Cool. So exploring waypoint, I do get an extra momentum on the hit, so this kind of rewards me for poking around, which is excellent. And also worth noting over here that we have a few modules attached to the ship. We have the regular starship, and there's an extra thing here for finishing the expedition. So we get some stuff there. Zeb keeps watch over the systems and gives me lets me do some fun stuff if I'm doing secure and advantage. It also can pilot the ship independently, which means I can roll integrity when I'm facing danger and letting him do the piloting. And recently we added stealth tech. When you make a move against a specific foe or threat to avoid detection, add +1. If you enter the fray by ambushing an unaware foe, you also get to add +1. But I don't want to get in a fight. Earl's terrible at fights. I'm not going to do that. You want to see me get in a fight? You got to see me on consequences of our own actions. That guy loves getting in fights. Not this guy. All right. So, right. So let's take a look at the move here. We're gonna explore waypoint. Oh, I haven't done this in a while, guys. It's exciting. All right. So, exploration moves. We are going to explore waypoint. When you divert from an expedition, just for a while, we're not giving up, just a little bit, to examine a notable location, roll wits. Let's see about rolling wits. All right, so I'm gonna get over here. Actually, I'm just gonna hit the little, I forgot I can do this. So I'm gonna hit this. I don't think I have any other, I don't get a bonus to exploring the waypoint from my explorer thing. It just pays off if I do it. So I'm just rolling. I don't have any extra modifiers. And first roll of getting back into play. That was a dice sound. Oh, they added dice. Okay. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's a miss. That is a 5 against a 9 and 8. You know, it's not better with the dice sitting there. It doesn't improve the situation. Let's get the dice box up here so you can see the summary and stuff. And my momentum is not going to be enough to save me from that. So, okay. Yeah, let's look back at that move and find out what that means. All right. On a miss, you encounter an immediate hardship or threat and must pay the price. On a miss with a match, you may instead confront chaos. One of these days I'm going to confront chaos, and it's not going to be awesome. But for right now, we're just going to have to pay the price. You encounter an immediate hardship or threat and must pay the price. All right, pay the price has an oracle attached to it. But I already said that, if I want to pay the price, I can just have the Tempest get closer while I'm doing this. But I do kind of want to know what complication came along. So we face some immediate hardship or threat. Okay, I'm going to roll this just to see if it gives me anything. That's a good idea. 31. I like the little dice. This is what happens when you haven't played in a while and you come back into Roll20 and you're trying to get OBS to work. All the software needs to be updated. They've changed the code on stuff and all that other kind of stuff. So, which is fine. It does take a little bit of massaging. Okay, so the oracle for that is your actions cause collateral damage or has unintended effect. Has an unintended. Okay, so what I'm going to go with here is just looking at this thing. I don't know that we're going to get an explanation here, really. But what we're seeing is it's not a planet. I don't think this is an Alderaan. I haven't seen a planet. I'm just going to pause there for a second because I'm not going to make that decision. I have oracles for this. So, hey, Mr. Oracle, why don't you get over here? You look at the oracles, and then we're just going to use the simple oracle at the top. It is unlikely that this is an exploded planet. Does the oracle agree with me? Let's find out. All right, and the oracle says no, it was not a planet that was blown up. So we're going to say this is some kind of like asteroid. There's some wreckage here, that kind of thing. So this is like like Ceres or something like. This is a large asteroid that's been blown to smithereens. It's still active in some way, shape, or form. And I'm looking through for survivors. I just have a feeling, it's a wrong feeling, that the pessimist in me says this is probably something that's relevant, so I need to actually pay attention to this. So I fiddle around with this for a while. We search through, I'm picturing those ships that are cruising through the icy waters after the Titanic goes down looking for survivors like a day after and knowing that they're not going to find any. So I'm kind of like cruising the ship through here, and we take too long with this. And I don't know what it is about this. Let's incorporate this later, but I don't know what it is about this that makes Earl so convinced that he wants to find somebody here. There's something in the back of his mind, the hint of a memory that he feels really strongly about looking for and finding survivors here, and he won't give this up. There's something going on here. Now, what I want to do kind of a little bit is to take a stress hit from this. I'm not going to. I might as a fallout from this thing, but what I'm going to do instead, in order to honor this tension clock that I've come up with, is I am going to mark tension of this thing as Zeb finally takes it upon themselves to basically, to a certain extent, kind of override Earl and say, listen, Earl, the gravity signature that you've had me keeping an eye out, the Tempest, it is definitely, I'm seeing shifts in the gravimetric readouts for nearby systems. It's coming. We have to. I realize that you want to find someone here. We have no life signs, and the Tempest is coming. And even Kay chimes in on this thing. Says, Earl, we should not be here. It is agitated. We should not be here when it arrives. And I'm like, fine. We're just fine. Well, let's. Can we engage the cloaking? Can we engage the cloaking and get out of here? Yes, we can engage the cloaking as soon as we get away from. And the problem is that once I agree to go, we can't leave right away because we're in the midst of this frickin' chaos. There's no good way to engage the drive, the E drive, and get loose of this stuff without getting a little bit further clear. Can't start the E drive. Need to get loose from there, and because of that, it has a chance to get closer, and my desire to find something here has left us in kind of in a bad way. So right, we're gonna continue on from there, and it's worrisome and something that we're gonna loop back to. It's just not understanding what here was driving Earl's desire to keep looking even in the face of obvious threat and should not have been something that was really something that was a problem. He should have just gone, but he didn't. Don't know why. So we're going to undertake that expedition again and continue on. We're continuing to trailblaze a route from this asteroid belt we're continuing to go from Dead Rock around to the thing. So let's get back over here to the map. We're gonna move, keep under the radar. And again, because of the ship and the stealth tech, when you make a move against a specific foe or threat to avoid detection, we're adding +1. So we're definitely doing that because we are continuing to do our jump, do our Eidolon stuff in such a way as to avoid the Tempest. So rolling shadow with a +1 on. There's our dice. Well, it's not a total disaster. That's good. All right, so that's a weak hit. Undertake the expedition for a weak hit as above, which is we reach the waypoint, envision the location, and mark progress according to the rank of the expedition. So I get that, but also it's going to cost us. We choose one, we suffer costs en route, or we face a peril at the waypoint. Now, what I am thinking here is I'm actually thinking I'm going to suffer costs en route, which is not great. I don't love it, but I like it for this selection. I shouldn't say I don't love it, but I think it makes sense to me, because what we end up doing is we end up rushing the Eidolon jump, and we are too close to too many celestial bodies, the rocks and stuff, and the big chunks of rock that are floating around, and we had to override some safety precautions to begin the E-drift where we did, and that ends up costing us. We get a whole panel of lights that are going and I'm like, son of a, because I was like, just go. We can go here. We're clear enough. We are not clear enough, and that definitely costs us. And I am going to take a 2-point hit to the ship's integrity. Not awesome. That's not great. So there's a lot of damage there to the ship that we're going to be trying to work on, and we are going to, let's envision what we encounter here as we get closer, like we go to the thing. So let's go to the oracles, and we are going to space sighting. We are in the Outlands. Let's give that a roll. Oracle says turbulent gravitational wave. All right. So we're not actually even anywhere. We get kicked out of our drift. We get kicked out of our E drift in the middle of nowhere. No celestial bodies. Okay. No celestial bodies here. There's like, where's the star? There's no planets. There's no. Why do we get? There was a gravitational wave that read strong enough to read as a celestial body. So we exited the drift where we normally would for something like that. I'm like, well, what would even cause a Zeb? What are the odds that that's the Zeb? I'm talking with Zeb to gather information. Secure an advantage. Gather information to see if this happened because we were near. Did we cross paths with the Titan, or is it just such a big bastard that we hit a wake on the thing? We're searching for clues, asking questions, analyzing evidence, rolling plus wits. Works for me. I don't get any bonuses on this, I don't think, so we're just gonna. I could probably take a +1 because I have K with me, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And that's a strong hit. Awesome. Oh, best I could possibly roll, which is good because I rolled again. Yeah, 6. So strong hit. You discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow. It's clear. Envision what you learn. Take +2 momentum. I am happy about that +2 momentum. That gets me up to a 9. Okay, so what do I learn something? Okay, so actually, yes, it was, but it wasn't that close, and it has given me enough of a read on the gravitational signature of the Tempest that I have a much better idea of where it actually is and predicting its motion. That's good news, Zeb. I like that. That's really, really good. Listen, if we don't think it's around here, if we don't think it's that close and we just kind of picked up a little bit of a signature, I want you to keep an eye on where you think it's going. Make sure it hasn't changed course. Keep reading those gravitational waves. I'm going to try to see what I can do to repair the ship while we are not in the middle of a jump, because messing with the jump drive and messing with the ship while I'm in the middle of a jump has historically been a bad move for us. So we're going to repair. Making repairs to vehicles, modules, blah, blah, blah. I am not at a facility. I am in the field, but I am not under fire. Key. That's key to that. Making your own repairs. I'm rolling plus wits, and I'm pretty sure I have some assets that will help with this. So I am a gearhead. When you make a move to repair, add +1. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So +1, but +1 momentum, so I'll take that. All right, so we're gonna do the repair move. We're gonna go back over here to the moves and do repair with the +1, making my own repairs, +1, and ooh, that's a strong hit. I love it. I love it. Best roll I could get. I love that. All right, so that is great. So a strong hit gives me 3 points for repair. Okay, and I get a point of momentum. So that takes my momentum to 10. And I need to +1 integrity on the vehicle is just a point. So that's easy. I can actually just I don't have to do anything special. I can repair while I'm sitting here, and I don't have to burn any supplies or anything like that. I can just get the integrity on the ship back up. And now we got to get a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do one more, undertake the expedition. Now we got this thing all kind of sorted out. We're gonna see where that gets us, and we are once again. I'm sorry to lean into this over and over again, but I am trying to avoid the damn tempest. I would very much like to not hit this thing, so you'll forgive me if I continue to roll shadow and try to avoid this thing as much as possible. Also, I bought an asset. I'm gonna use the hell out of it. Why wouldn't I? So let's get Earl up here again, and also my shadow's like my best stat. So sneaking around now, good idea. All right, so undertake an expedition. We're gonna go back over there, give that a roll. We're moving under the radar, +1 for the cloaking. Dice at the table. That's a 10 on the challenge dice. That's not awesome, but the other one is a 1, so I'll take it. That is a 9 against a 1 and a 10 for a weak hit. And my momentum is at a 10. Not good enough. I love the way they changed the momentum in the game, and I think I talked about this last time I was here, but they changed sort of the way that momentum works. It doesn't it had this whole complicated way of explaining it where it was like, okay, it's going to negate anything that's less than the momentum, but if the dice roll is the same as the momentum, it won't help, blah, blah, blah. And what it does, the way it's explained now is, if you burn your momentum, it makes your roll the same as the momentum that you burned. So I can make my roll a 10, but in this case, it doesn't help that it makes my roll 10 because I got to beat the other roll, and one of the rolls is a 10. But it's so much simpler to explain, right? So yeah, I love when in hindsight, sort of making it so much clearer. So we have undertaking expedition, another mixed success, but we know kind of what that's going to do. We can speed things up a little bit here. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me an advance on my progress here, which I forgot to check last time. So I'm marking that. I'm going to mark it again. But again, we're hitting a situation where we either have peril at the waypoint, or we're going to have to deal with a suffer move, either taking a hit of 2 against supply or integrity of the ship or something like that, or taking a hit of 1 in one place and 1 someplace else. Let's see. I don't know whether it's peril at the waypoint or whether we're going to take a suffer move, but let's find out a little bit more about where we go, and from there we can sort of figure out, see where we end up, and then from there I can figure out whether or not which one I want. So we're going to be, again, we're out in the outlands, and we're going to submit that and see what the Oracle has to say. And the Oracle says a dense nebula cloud. I like it. It's cool. I don't think we have a nebula cloud floating around here anywhere, do we? Meridian Station kind of looks like one, but I don't think we really have like a nebula cloud. So the question then becomes, is this, do I run into a threat here, or is it something like I burn a bunch of supplies because I need to repair the ship, and also we take a bunch of time trying to get out of the nebula far enough to be able to actually jump? I can't decide. So, spaceborne peril? Inspiration for a trouble on an interstellar journey. Stellar anomaly emits hazardous energies. It's a nebula. They're radioactive as fuck. So, yeah? Okay. So, in that case, here's where we're going to leave things. We jump, everything's fine. We got a nice clean thing. It's like another celestial body coming up. All right, let's drop out. And as soon as we drop off, every radiation signature warning thing on the in the ship starts going wah, 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 wah. And we're in the middle, it's just blinding white because we're inside the nebula. Nebulas are very pretty when you're several million light years away. They are less awesome when you are inside of them because it's sort of like being in the star without being on fire. So we are definitely in the midst of it and going to need to probably face danger and secure some kind of advantage to get clear far enough to jump as we land inside of a nebula. Let's get a nebula picture. Do we have a nebula picture I can use? I sure as heck ought to have a nebula picture floating around here somewhere. Let's look. That looks good. It's inside the Orion Nebula. I'll take it. Grab this crazy guy, and we're gonna drop him. Crowded over here. That bad boy. In the midst of the nebula. Awesome. So that's where we're gonna start next time while we're doing this. All right. So yeah, into the nebula as we try to get closer and closer to Lagrange. I think one more jump and then should get us there if we can just get out of here. But first, we got to get out of this heavily radioactive space. So a little bit happened. Big plot stuff? No. Are we gaming again? Yes. Is that good? Yes. Session 32 in the can. Thanks everybody for checking this out, for hopefully sticking with it and coming back and seeing what the hell I'm up to now that I've been gone for so long. The thought of leaving you all hanging was part of what brought me back. I could not stand to do that. And also I wanted to know what was going on with Earl and Zeb and Kay and everybody else here. We got a story to finish here, folks. Not going to give up on that. So we are going to make this bad boy work. All right. I will see you soon. Thanks a lot.